Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something super cool, animal communication.
Oh, yeah. It's a really fascinating topic.
Yeah, everyone knows that animals talk to each other, Like
Yeah.
dogs bark and birds chirp.
Right.
It's way more than that.
Yeah. It goes way beyond just those simple sounds.
Like, have you heard about this crazy thing with humpback whales?
I think so.
So, back in 1986, I think it was, researchers saw these humpback whales in the North Atlantic. And get this, they were developing this totally new hunting technique. It was
Oh.
called bubble net feeding, I think.
Yeah.
Bubble net feeding.
Yeah.
And it's where they all work together. These whales, to trap these big schools of fish. Isn't that insane?
It really is. And what's even more amazing is that this technique, it spread from one pod of whales to another.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just instinct. It was like they were actually learning from each other and adapting their hunting strategy.
Right. Like sharing knowledge.
Exactly.
Which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really challenges our understanding of their intelligence and social structures.
Totally. So if whales can do that,
Right.
develop these complex hunting strategies and teach them to each other, what else can they do?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how much we've underestimated animal intelligence in general.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to understand how animals communicate. It's the key to unlocking so many mysteries about their behavior, their social lives, and even their inner worlds, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a whole other language that we're just beginning to understand. And,
Right.
humans are super visual.
Right.
We use body language all the time.
All the time.
Turns out animals are the same way.
Oh, yeah.
They use visual cues constantly.
Think about chimpanzees, for instance.
Yeah.
They have over 66 distinct gestures they use to communicate. Everything from wanting to play to offering each other food,
Wow, 66. That's a lot.
It is. It really highlights the complexity of their social interactions.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Way more complex than we realize.
And it's not just random movements either.
Right.
These are precise signals that are understood by the whole group.
Okay. So it's like a whole system of communication.
It is. It's essential for their survival and their social cohesion.
Right. It all makes sense now.
And it's not just primates either. Think about a peacock.
Yeah.
When a male peacock is trying to attract a mate,
Yeah.
they fan out those incredible tail feathers.
Mary is so beautiful.
Right. It's not just for decoration.
Right.
It's a visual masterpiece designed to attract a mate.
Like, hey, girl, check out these feathers.
Exactly.
High-stakes communication, for sure.
Absolutely. Visual signals play a crucial role in reproduction across so many species.
That's true.
But we don't have to go to the jungle to see this in action.
Right.
Our pets do it too.
Oh, yeah. Our dogs are masters of visual communication.
They really are.
If you've ever had a dog, you know that a wagging tail means they're happy.
Of course.
But there's so much more to it than that.
Oh, yeah.
Those perked up ears, the playful bow.
What?
It's like they're talking to us with their whole bodies.
And here's a really cool fact. Research shows that dogs have actually evolved to mimic human facial expressions.
No way.
It's true.
Yeah.
Which probably explains why they're so good at connecting with us.
So basically, we've trained them to understand us.
Yeah. It's probably a bit of both. We've trained them, and they've adapted to us.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And the more we understand those subtle cues,
Yeah.
the better we can communicate with our dogs and build stronger relationships with them.
For sure. I'm pretty sure my dog understands me better than some people.
Probably true.
But, animals don't just communicate visually. They use sounds, too. All kinds of sounds.
Oh, yeah.
From bird songs to whale calls, the world is full of vocal communication.
It really is. And the diversity of those vocalizations is amazing.
Bird songs?
Have you ever heard a nightingale sing?
I don't think so.
They can sing over 200 different melodies.
200? Really? Are you serious?
Seriously. It's incredible.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
What are they even saying with all those different melodies?
Well, bird songs can be used for a lot of things. Attracting mates, defending their territory, warning each other about danger.
Oh, wow. So each song has a different meaning?
In a way.
Yes.
That's wild.
And then you have whales, whose songs can travel for hundreds of miles underwater.
Really? Hundreds of miles.
That's mind-blowing.
That's crazy. What are they talking about?
Well, we think those songs play a role in mating, social bonding, and even navigation.
Wow. It's like their own little underwater internet.
Yeah.
So they're just singing to each other all the time.
Pretty much.
That's so cool.
And what's really fascinating is that whale songs aren't static. They change over time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And different populations of whales have different dialects, just like how we humans have different accents.
No way. So they're like
Yeah.
developing their own little cultures.
It seems that way, which opens up all sorts of questions about their intelligence and cultural evolution.
Yeah. Makes you realize how much we still don't know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But vocalizations aren't always about singing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about survival.
Right, like those warning calls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Animals use vocalizations to alert each other to danger.
Right.
And those calls can be incredibly specific. Like meerkats have different calls for different predators.
What? Really?
Yeah. They have one call for eagles, which are aerial predators,
Right.
and a totally different call for snakes, which are on the ground.
Wow. That's crazy. So it's like they're saying eagle or snake.
Pretty much. It's an incredibly efficient alarm system.
Yeah, that's super smart.
It helps the whole group stay safe.
It makes me wonder if they have a specific call for like, hey, you forgot the snacks.
Maybe.
Mm.
But while sight and sound are definitely important, the animal kingdom also relies on something we can't even see.
What's that?
Chemical signals.
Smells.
Pretty much. We're talking about pheromones,
Okay.
which are chemical signals that animals release to communicate with each other.
So they're like, tuner sending invisible messages. Wow. We humans don't really use pheromones, do we?
Not that we're consciously aware of.
Right. So it's like a whole secret language happening all around us.
It is. And even tiny creatures like ants use it.
Really? Ants use pheromones.
Oh, yeah. They use pheromone trails to guide their colony to food.
Okay.
And those trails can change depending on how much food is available.
So it's like they're constantly updating their direction.
Pretty much. It's an incredibly sophisticated system.
That's crazy. I never would have guessed that ants were so complex.
They are. And it's not just insects. Mammals use scent to communicate, too.
Really? Like, how?
Well, wolves use urine to mark their territory.
Right.
And that scent tells other wolves a lot about the wolf who left it.
Okay.
Their age, their sex, even their health.
Wow. That's like leaving behind a little bio.
It is. It's a way of sharing information without ever having to meet face to face.
That's pretty cool. It's like the original social media.
You could say that.
Right. But scent isn't just about territory, is it?
No. It plays a huge role in social dynamics, too. It's
Oh.
like, think about clownfish.
Okay.
They live in these social hierarchies.
Right.
And they use pheromones to regulate those hierarchies.
Wow. So it's like a chemical system of social order.
Exactly. From the tiniest ants to the largest whales. Animals are communicating in ways we're only just beginning to understand.
Yeah, it's like a whole other dimension of life on Earth.
It is. And with all the new technology we have now,
Right.
we're on the verge of making even more incredible discoveries about animal communication.
That's so exciting.
It really is.
I can't wait to see what we learn next.
Me too. It's a fascinating field.
It really is.
Like researchers are actually using AI now to try and decode whale songs.
Whoa.
Imagine if we could really understand what they're saying.
That would be incredible.
Right. It's like science fiction becoming reality.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how much our understanding of animal communication has already changed, like even in the last few decades.
Oh, yeah. It's come a long way.
We used to think it was all just basic instincts and simple signals, but now we're realizing it's way more nuanced and complex than we ever thought.
Absolutely. And one of the most exciting areas of research right now is animal cognition.
Okay.
By observing how animals communicate, we're starting to get these glimpses into their thought processes.
Wow. So we can actually see how they think.
Well, kinda. We can see how they solve problems, how they make decisions,
And how they feel.
even their emotional lives, yeah,
It's like we're finally starting to crack the code of what it's like to be another creature.
in a way.
Yes.
That's so cool. And what we're finding is that a lot of animals are capable of some pretty amazing things.
Like what?
Well, think about honeybees.
Okay.
They do this really intricate dance
Right. The waggle dance.
to tell their hive mates where to find food.
Yeah.
But it's not just a random dance.
Right.
It's a form of symbolic communication.
So they're actually giving directions.
Yeah, like a little bee GPS.
That's incredible.
And it's not just bees. Crows are known for using tools. And they can solve puzzles. And even recognize human faces.
No way. So they're like the geniuses of the bird world.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Their communication system has to be pretty sophisticated.
To be able to share that kind of information,
Right.
it's mind-blowing when you think about it. Like all this intelligence and communication is happening all around us.
It really is.
And we're just starting to tune in.
Exactly. And it really challenges those old assumptions we had about animals.
About them not being as smart as us.
Right. The more we learn, the more we realize that the line between human and animal communication is a lot blurrier than we thought.
It's kind of humbling.
It is, but it's also really inspiring.
Totally.
It makes you think about our responsibility towards them, you know?
Yeah. Like if they can communicate so well, maybe we need to treat them differently.
Exactly. As we learn more about animal communication, we also learn more about our connection to all living things.
And that connection comes with responsibility.
For sure.
Okay, so let's get back to the science for a minute. Where are researchers making the biggest strides in animal communication?
One area that's really exciting is bioacoustic monitoring.
What's that?
It's basically using technology to record and analyze animal sounds.
So we can eavesdrop on their conversations.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And with AI, we can analyze those recordings in ways we never could before.
Okay.
We can identify individual animals by their voices.
Really?
Yeah. And track their movements.
Yeah.
And even figure out what some of their calls mean.
So it's like having a universal translator for the animal kingdom.
It's getting there.
That's amazing.
And the applications are huge. Like, conservationists could use this to monitor endangered species.
Okay.
And track diseases.
Uh-huh.
And even see where human activity is messing with animal communication.
It could really help us protect them.
Absolutely. And beyond conservation, this research is important for other fields too.
Like what?
Like medicine.
In
And robotics.
Yeah.
Even music.
music.
Really? Yeah. By studying how animals communicate, we're learning about the fundamentals of communication itself.
I see. So we can use that knowledge to improve our own technology.
Exactly. It's a great example of how nature can inspire us.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And by studying animal communication, we're not just learning about them.
Right.
We're learning about ourselves too, and our place in the world.
That's a cool way to look at it.
It's a journey of discovery, and it's both humbling and exciting.
Totally agree.
And I think as we keep digging deeper into the mysteries of animal communication, we're going to find even more amazing things.
I'm sure we will. This has been a fascinating conversation.
It has.
But we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more on the incredible world of animal communication. Okay, so we're back.
We're back again.
And ready to keep going with this deep dive into how animals talk to each other.
Yeah, it's a really amazing topic.
It is.
Yeah.
So in the last part, we were talking about like AI and stuff.
Right. Using AI to understand animal communication.
Yeah, exactly. And like how that could help with conservation and, you know, all sorts of things.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities.
But I'm curious, like,
Yep.
how does understanding animal communication actually like affect us in our everyday lives?
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah.
In more ways than you might think.
Okay.
Like, let's start with our pets.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
So much of our communication with our pets is nonverbal, right?
Right.
Like,
We don't actually talk to them.
exactly. But we communicate through body language, through your
Yeah.
tone of voice.
Right.
And the more we understand their body language and their vocalizations, the better we can understand their needs.
Right.
Like,
Right.
are they happy? Are they scared? Are they trying to tell us something?
So it's not just about like feeding them and petting them.
No. It's about really communicating with them on their level.
Right. Learning their language.
Exactly.
Even though it's not like human language.
Well, right. But it's still communication.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it goes beyond just pets, too. By understanding how wild animals communicate, we can learn to coexist with them better.
So instead of being afraid of them.
Right. Or misunderstanding them, we can learn to read their signals and avoid doing things that might scare them or provoke them.
Makes sense.
It's all about respect.
Yeah. Right.
Respecting their boundaries and realizing that they have their own way of communicating.
Okay. So how does that actually work? Like, how can we learn to communicate with wild animals?
Well, it starts with education. Learning about the specific communication signals of different species.
Okay.
Like, what does it mean when a bear stands up on its hind legs?
I don't know. Is that a bad thing?
It could be. It could mean the bear is feeling threatened,
Okay.
or it could just be curious. But by knowing the different possibilities, we can react in a way that's safe for both us and the bear.
Right. So it's about being aware of their signal.
Exactly. And by being aware,
Yeah.
we can avoid making mistakes that could lead to conflict.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it's not just about avoiding conflict. It's about appreciating the complexity of their communication. Like,
Right.
we talked earlier about how birds use songs to attract mates and defend their territory.
Right.
But did you know that some birds can even mimic the sounds of other animals?
Ooh. Really? Like parrots?
Yeah, parrots are famous for that.
Yeah.
But other birds do it too.
Why would they do that?
Well, It could be for a lot of reasons. Maybe to confuse predators
Okay.
or to attract mates, or even just for fun. We're not totally sure.
Wow. It's crazy how much we still don't know.
It really is. But that's what makes it so exciting. There's always more to learn.
So as we learn more about animal communication, we also learn more about ourselves.
I think so. It helps us understand our place in the natural world.
And our connection to other living things.
Exactly. And that connection is really important.
Especially now, with all the environmental challenges we're facing.
Right. The more we understand animals, the better we can protect them.
And protect our planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it really is. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And thanks to all our listeners for tuning in.
We hope you learned something new today.
And that you'll keep exploring the amazing world of animal communication.
There's so much out there to discover if we just open our minds and listen.
That's a great way to put it. Until next time, keep learning.
And keep listening.